Hey you guys, this is Alex 8675309 here, and, well, this is the first video I'm actually doing on my new computer. Let's hope nothing bad happens. Like it explodes or something. Okay. Well, I decided to do something small for the first video. You guys remember when I uploaded that why Metroid Other M, isn't really that bad. Well, I said in that video I would say what I didn't like about the game. And I noticed I really never mentioned it. So, I'm dedicating this video to really saying why I don't like it. Now, right off the bat, some of you guys are going to be thinking, he's contradicting himself in some places, from the last time. Be aware. Time and reflection can easily change someone's perception on a subject or on a game. Right? Now, actually, this is a really good place. I don't like this part at all. I understand, hey, it has a suspenseful feel to it, but I wish it was just a little bit faster, because it kind of takes forever to get anywhere. But that's just a little tiny pet peeve. One of the main things I'm going to start off with is the gameplay and the story. Nintendo, I understand. You wanted to elaborate on Samus's character, which is sensitive, doesn't like fighting, overall is scared of fighting. She doesn't like to fight, she fights to make sure that no one else close to her dies. Okay. I can completely understand that. I mean, that could make a really cool storyline. What I don't understand is, okay, now let's add gameplay of a person that is completely in love with fighting, loves to do these finisher moves that make it look like she's having so much fun. Think about this. It completely contradicts itself. That's one thing I thought that this game really didn't do. Was, you know what? The gameplay and everything else just didn't work. And why'd I go to this door? But that's just one thing I don't like. Alright, by the way, I hate these two, because it's kind of odd in this game. I wasn't like observant, so I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to be looking at? What am I supposed to look at? Oh, see, in 1080p, I would have been able to probably see that, but I'm telling you, that just looks like a smudge. But anyway, so you make these two aspects of the game, gameplay and story, and they just clash. They don't mesh well at all. I think that if the gameplay was in its own separate game, it would work. Don't get me wrong, I like the gameplay. The gameplay is a lot of fun to play. It's very simple, but yet very engaging. But then, you can sit there and it's like, okay, but now I want to go and listen to the story part of it. It's completely different. If the story was in its own game, it probably wouldn't have done as bad either. The story, though, is another thing I really want to talk about. Now, I know a lot of you guys with the whole, through the comments I've read on the other video, I understand what you mean. It's not the story, it's the presentation of the story. And I do understand where you're coming from, because the first time I was playing through this game, I kind of pushed myself through because I'm like, okay, I want the rest of the story. I want the rest of the story. So I was kind of still feeding off of that when I went and did that last video, right?
I knew his mind.
I tried playing it again.
Not only was he a strong opponent of bioweapons,
it is so hard
he was against the use of living things
not to just do that. I'm sorry, it's so hard for me not to just skip the cutscenes and go straight back to gameplay. It would not be as terrible if the voice actor for Samus wasn't directed the way that she was. don't get me wrong, the person that did Samus did a very good job. Because she was told to make an emotionless character. Now, I don't see Samus as an emotionless character, ever. Even when reading the manga, I mean, I'm like, okay, you know, she's not completely emotionless. But I understand when Sakamoto went and he says, okay, well, see, I want to make her hide her emotions and all this. Alright. Then why is she trying to hide her emotions from herself? Think about that. When talking, she's emotionless, you know, so that she can't show her, you know, feelings to the other members of the Platoon 7. You know, okay. I get it. But then, how come when she's just thinking to herself in her head, she's still emotionless? For me, I'm just like, okay, especially because she's thinking to herself a lot, it makes it really hard to sit there and listen to it. I mean, imagine like, okay, I'm studying for a test, and I have to sit here and read this book, you know, I have like 6 or 7 chapters to go, you know, but I need to finish it so I know what's going on. That's kind of the thing I felt like here. It was very, just overall dry. It was overall dry, but I just didn't really get into it. I mean, I'm like, okay. Especially after playing a game like Xenoblade Chronicles, I'm like, oh my gosh. You know, the gameplay, the story in this game is just not that great at all. And I'm not doing that great at all either, because I haven't played in forever. But I mean, overall, I think they could have done something, you know. Man, I'm not doing great. Something just a little bit different there. Samus's voice being not so emotionless. I mean, of course we don't want her crying and just like totally breaking down in front of everybody. I mean, no. You know, I don't think that would have been the way to go either. But, I mean, I really do think that if Samus's, you know, reaction was just a little bit more out there, it probably would have been just a little bit better. And then, let's take it a step further. If they didn't do it all cutscene based, I mean, that's one thing that people are really not liking right now. Like, some games that I've heard is like Metal Gear Solid 4, having these hour-long, unskippable cutscenes. And if you don't watch the cutscenes, well then you don't know what's going on. It's like, I bought this game to play the game. I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm playing through Metroid Prime in 4 hours of non-stop gameplay, but this game, it takes me 9 hours, and how many hours of gameplay do I have? Not much. I mean, this thing has, what, 3 hours of just cutscenes with the Metroid Other M movie. And that's with a little dinky bit of gameplay. I mean, I could beat this game in 9 hours. You know, it doesn't really give you a lot there. The next thing I'm going to really dive into is Samus's past, that they were trying to hint at but didn't really do well. A great example of this is Samus's post-traumatic stress disorder. Nintendo, you should have really... They didn't prepare anybody over here at all to what this game was going to bring to the table. Like, really, when I thought this game, okay, we're going to see the stuff that, you know, we never got to see because the manga was not released over here, that kind of stuff. Well, no, we never got to see any of that. And that's what makes it dumb, is because it's like, okay, well, you know what? We missed out on a lot of things here. It's like Samus's post-traumatic stress disorder, a lot of people are like, okay, well, you know what? Great. But, you know, it's just like a lot of people were like, okay, this is, kind of you know, it's really hard to concentrate when you're having a giant tail thing coming at you. Everybody knows what it's like to try to talk and play a game at the same time. I mean, it's not the easiest thing to do. Come on. And if I believe it's right, this boss can kill you. So I do want to get this last hit in. Come on. Okay, if you guys saw that skip there, I died. I don't really have anything to say for that, but you know what? Who cares? Now, back to where I was at. Nintendo didn't do anything here to prepare anybody. So, I mean, what were we supposed to base Samus off of? Apparently nothing. It's just, okay, here you go, here's this game, Samus, this is, you've never seen this side before, but here you go, we're not going to explain anything to you at all. Okay, great, thank you. You guys really left us wide open to a whole lot of nothing. If Nintendo would have maybe even perhaps have done, like, you know, waited and would have done this for like the 25th anniversary or something, who knows. You know, and they could have released like the manga or something with it. I could have seen that easily done. You know, release the manga as sort of just like an extra thing with the game. You know, and even if they wanted to wait and do some extra polish on this game or something, they could have released it on the Wii U. You had the Wii U have a Metroid Wii U launch title. You know, they could have done something like that. But I mean, of course, the Wii had to have the nice, you know. And don't get me wrong, they would have to put a lot more money into this game. And if the game would have still been this bad, well, you know, they would have lost a lot of money on this one. And that probably would have killed this Metroid franchise as a whole. So I guess, in retrospect, let's be happy that they didn't do that. Anyway, okay, I can't concentrate with these things. So I think that they would have done something else, released more information, did more actual, like, okay, well, here's talking or a playback. Like, I've seen games where they do a flashback and you're playing the flashback. I mean, that would have been really cool to be fighting alongside Marines or something other than just sitting here and watching a cutscene play. I mean, that would have been amazing. You know, of course they're not going to do that. That would be too awesome. So, I mean, we had nothing. We didn't know about Samus's post-traumatic stress disorder, and then they go and they put it out there like, oh my gosh, Samus is the little scared crybaby because now all of a sudden she's afraid of Ridley even though she never was. Even though she was. Because no one knew that. It's just, Nintendo, you did it wrong. In almost every aspect, this game was done wrong. Even in the linearity. In the last game I said, you know what, it's like Metroid Fusion, but then I'm like, you know what, I'm playing through Metroid Fusion again, I'm like, you know what, how much exploring is this? Here, it's point A to point B to point A to point B, you know, just it keeps on repeating. It's just, okay, go here, go here, go here, go here, go here. If you want to go backwards, oh, too bad, locked doors. If you want to go to a different sector, too bad, locked doors. If you want to go here, too bad, locked doors. Now, Metroid Fusion had the same thing. You know, go here, go here, go here. And then it said, okay, well, instead of locking doors, we're going to put obstacles here and here and here to make it look like, okay, well, you just can't get here now. You know, we're not stopping you, you just can't get here. So, I mean, it made you feel a little bit better about it. Then it went through and said, okay, well, if you want to backtrack, go to different sectors, you know, collect different power-ups, you can. Go right ahead. This game's like, nope, you got to do this now. And I'm like, okay, great. So it really kills a lot of the aspects of the game. Then, if you want to take it a step further, I'm not sure if you can in Metroid Fusion, but sequence breaking has always been a big thing with the Metroid franchise. This game, I believe, eliminated it. So, I mean, you took the speedrunning ability out of the game and made it just kind of blah. I mean, I beat it 100%. Now what? I really just, I don't want to play this game anymore. I really don't. I mean, I'll play it maybe in a year, but I don't want to play it again right now. That's why I'm sitting here having it pause, sitting at this visor, because I just don't want to play it. Now, I mean, I know it's probably boring for you guys. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Yeah, I just can't play it. It's just everything that Nintendo did. Nintendo tried to make it better, but instead they made it worse. Now, Nintendo, this is one thing you can do to fix this. Make a remake. Fix all the problems. Use older style gameplay. Please. You could release it on the Wii U, you could release it on the 3DS, but just fix it. Change things. Redo it, and you know what? I know you want this to be part of the story. I know you want Samus to be an important character in the Nintendo universe. Do that. But then, change it. You have to keep it. It's like Mario. Yes, we want Mario to be the same, but we want it to be better. That's what you guys said at E3. But you know what? That's what we wanted with Metroid. But you guys dramatically changed it, and you lost kind of what the feeling was. I mean, this game doesn't even have the music that Metroid franchise is famous for. I mean, you're famous for the nice melodies that create the dark and creepy atmosphere that, you know, these games are known for, or the majestic and beautiful sounds of, like, Metroid Prime. It didn't carry any of that. All it is just environmental noises. It just, I mean, there's like, I'm trying to think. I think there's like 3 themes in this game that I actually like. 3. Oh great, my Wiimote just turned off. And that's the thing though. This game has so many problems. There were some things that, yes, I did like. The gameplay, I liked how they tried going back to the older control style. I could have done without the first person, but you know, I like the NES control style. I love my NES to death. I love giving it CPR every single time I want to start it up. But this is something that really, Nintendo, you need to either disown this game or fix it. If you just leave it sit there, this is going to be known as one of the worst games in the Metroid franchise. Now, don't get me wrong, it did get like an 85, you know, so it did okay, but it's not up there with the Nintendo quality games. And another thing that I think you could fix, some of the voice actors, especially some of the characters that didn't appear very often, including the researchers at the very beginning, get better voice actors. I mean, come on. Even if you're going to have them be there for a little bit, just make them have at least a believable, realistic voice. I don't want to hear a guy that's talking like this. Okay, I'm sorry. You can't take the same voice actor for another character and just go and make him talk through his nose. It's not going to work. But I'm just trying to make sure I didn't forget anything. Let's see, so you have story versus gameplay, you have all that. I think I pretty much covered it. Oh yeah! Last thing I forgot. There are still some glitches in the area, including the hitboxes for enemies. Yeah, there's some things that really needed to be polished up. And again, Nintendo, we don't care if you delay a game. Just make sure it's good when we get it, okay? If you have to delay it, it's like, I wouldn't have mind waiting for this game for another year if you fixed all the problems in it. Because you know what, we could have just avoided all this mess. You know what? We could have just went right past it. Now, again, this game can be picked up for $10. Even though I've been totally trashing it this video, just go out and get it. It's a $2 million game that's selling for the price that's even below EA's budget titles. So I mean, this is a good game that you could probably play through twice. But you know what? $10, it's not bad. Get it, play it, enjoy it the first time, put it away, hopefully play it in a year or two. And for $10, you know what, I think that's well worth it. But to play it, to actually enjoy it, or even to start the Metroid franchise out on, I would not suggest it at all. As I said, not terrible, not great. And I hope that it just answered some of the questions that you guys had on, you said, what don't you like about the game? So, I hope this kind of cleared things up a little bit there. And, of course, my recorder hasn't skipped any frames, so I'm assuming this computer is good. And next video that should be coming up soon should be Let's Play Metro Prime Part 7? Prime 3 Part 7, sorry. Where we go to Skytown. And I will also be kind of releasing a video just showing what this computer is capable of. I mean, it's pretty sweet. So, until next time, see you guys later. Now if I could just turn this thing off.